The disqualification of Lewis Hamilton at the Grand Prix of China took an unexpected turn. What initially appeared to be a clear technical infraction has become the center of a growing controversy behind the scenes of Formula One. New information is emerging that may explain what really happened with Ferrari's setup, completely changing the current landscape. Behind the scenes, engineers, analysts, and rival teams have begun to gather clues that point to the origin of the excessive wear on the undertray, a factor that cost Hamilton the 6th position. This issue is not merely about a car running too low, but may be the result of a structural failure in managing the height of Ferrari's car, coupled with the possible omission of critical data even before the race began. From incomplete simulations during pre-season tests to the unforeseen consequences of adjustments between the short race and the main race, the indications are starting to align and raise serious doubts not only for Ferrari, but also for the technical parameters set by the International Automobile Federation. Much remains to be investigated, and the implications extend beyond a single race weekend. Therefore, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned until the end, as we will dissect every aspect of this emerging theory and what it might mean for Hamilton's future at Ferrari. Just a few hours after the checkered flag was waved in Shanghai, Ferrari's hopes crumbled. Hamilton finished in the 6th position while Charles Leclerc brought the car home in the 5th position, solidifying what appeared to be a robust points haul after a turbulent start to the season of 2025. However, what followed turned the race weekend completely upside down. Both Ferraris were disqualified after post-race inspections. Leclerc's car was found to be under the minimum weight requirement, while Hamilton's car was penalized for the excessive wear on the undertray. At first glance, these errors seemed like simple compliance failures, something that top teams rarely commit. But now a new hypothesis offers a more complex explanation for the incident and paints a more detailed picture of Ferrari's campaign in the season of 2025. Analyzing Hamilton's disqualification, the protective plate located at the bottom of the car, which ensures a minimum ride height, ended up wearing excessively and failed to meet the required minimum thickness of 9 mm. In his case, the measurements taken after the race indicated that the plate had deteriorated below that limit, with readings of 8.6 mm on the left side, 8.6 mm in the center, and 8.5 mm on the right side. Ferrari acknowledged the mistake, confirmed the accuracy of the measurements, and admitted that there were no mitigating circumstances. Consequently, the International Automobile Federation applied the disqualification immediately. However, new backstage analyses suggest that the error was not merely a simple miscalculation. There are indications that the team was caught off guard by an issue related to the car's ride height, stemming from the lack of dry run data with Hamilton during the pre-season tests in Bahrain. At that time, the car encountered a technical difficulty that prevented a complete race simulation, leaving out essential information about the vehicle's behavior during extended sessions with high fuel loads on a dry track. Arriving at the Grand Prix of China, which marked Hamilton's first completely dry race this season, the missing data may have had a significant impact. The theory is as follows. After raising the car's height in Australia to handle the bumpy street circuit and wet conditions, Ferrari lowered the ride height again for China, expecting a more uniform and predictable asphalt surface. Without an adequate simulation for a dry track, the adjustment may have been too aggressive, without properly considering how the undertray would behave under the conditions of high fuel load and prolonged racing. Moreover, Hamilton's victory in the short race, contested under different fuel and tire strategies, might have masked the initial problem, leading the team to overlook the impending error. This reasoning is further supported by the situation with Charles Leclerc, whose disqualification occurred for an entirely different reason. After suffering damage to the front wing early in the race, the team opted to replace the part before weighing the car, as the rules allow. However, even with the replacement front wing installed, the vehicle was 1 kilogram below the minimum weight of 800 kilograms after fuel depletion. This discrepancy reveals that the original calculations regarding the front wing and fuel consumption were incorrect, a rare yet costly oversight for a top-level team. The International Automobile Federation acknowledged that Ferrari followed the protocol, but found no justification for the weight discrepancy, resulting in the disqualification. These events renew scrutiny over Ferrari's setup philosophy and demonstrate how sensitive the car model can be to even the slightest variations in ride height. If the vehicle's aerodynamics depend on a very narrow adjustment margin, it becomes easy to exceed legal limits without noticing. While a car with a wider operational range would better withstand bumps, fuel consumption variations, and track irregularities, a highly sensitive car may achieve significant performance gains when perfectly tuned but suffer dramatically with even the smallest deviation. This could explain both the wear on the undertray and the inconsistent performance between sessions. The most frustrating aspect for Hamilton is that none of these issues appear to have been caused directly by him. In the short race, he excelled by achieving his first pole position and victory with Ferrari, overcoming the challenges imposed by the setup and internal communication issue, including a now infamous radio exchange with the support team. However, all his effort was nullified by a problem that now seems to be part of a deeper systemic failure in the race preparation and validation of Ferrari's setup. After the race, Hamilton remained reserved. Although he did not publicly criticize the team's decisions, his brief remarks revealed growing frustration. He noted a lack of rear grip and difficulty in keeping the car stable at low speeds in the corners, symptoms consistent with an unstable aerodynamic platform and possibly a suboptimal setup. This is particularly disappointing considering the effort he demonstrated during the race, even in the face of initial front wing damage. The consequences of the dual disqualifications are severe. Ferrari now finds itself behind the championship leaders by a significant margin, and both drivers have lost valuable points. Moreover, the trust between driver and team, especially with Hamilton still adapting to life with the red team, is being put to the test. In a team like Ferrari, there is no room for repeated errors in such fundamental aspects as the car's ride height and weight. When these parameters fail, doubts arise not only about execution, but also about internal processes and controls. New evidence suggests that the error may not have been due to carelessness, but rather a structural failure, stemming from the lack of real-world data, an arguably overly aggressive setup philosophy, and a car that appears excessively sensitive to consistent performance throughout the race weekends. If that is the case, Ferrari will need to do more than simply apologize and move on. It will have to revisit the entire calibration of the car's ride height, refine the correlation between simulation and track performance, and ensure that both Hamilton and Charles Leclerc have complete confidence in the tools at their disposal. For Hamilton, the episode represents not only a setback, but a warning. He joined Ferrari with the goal of making history and fighting for an 8th World Championship. However, that dream will only materialize if the team around him can deliver a car that is not only fast, but also compatible, reliable, and adaptable. In today's Formula One, the smallest technical detail can compromise an entire weekend's work. Share your opinion in the comments about this developing episode. Do you believe that Ferrari faces a deeper problem, and that they will resolve it before more race weekends are jeopardized? And remember, if you want to stay informed about every twist and turn of this dramatic season of 2025, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notification. There is much more to be discovered, and we will be here to present every detail, every update, and every revelation. After all, this incident demonstrates that Ferrari's challenges go beyond lap time. Behind every disqualification, every radio message, and every decision in the pit wall, there is a story unfolding that may influence the championship results in unexpected ways. Whether due to setup vulnerabilities, procedural errors, or communication failures, the team will need to evolve quickly if it wants to compete with teams like McLaren and Red Bull in the long term. With Hamilton facing a crucial moment in the season, and Charles Leclerc seeking consistency amid technical uncertainties, the pressure is mounting. Every practice session, every qualifying lap, and every race now can mean the difference between a title challenge and a campaign compromised by avoidable errors. In a sport as demanding as Formula One, The margin for error is bound to decrease every week. Do not miss a single detail. As the season is heating up, the risks are growing, and each new week brings another twist. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.